Hi, listeners. This is Budget Pedal Chap. The audio on this episode is not up to snuff due to an issue with recording. I mean, if you just listen for the first 5 minutes, you'll get an idea of what it's about. It seems to have only taken parts of the conversation, and it almost chunks the audio. It's still listenable. However, it's not up to our usual quality standard. But I thought it'd be really interesting to listen to, because there was some really interesting stuff discussed, and both Paul, Gavin, and myself took the time to record it as well. So I didn't really want to waste that. So bear in mind that this is what you'll hear throughout this podcast, and it's not a full episode. It will be deemed a bonus because of that. Okay, you'll still get your regular episode on Monday. Budget Pedal Chap out.
Welcome. This episode what is it now? 13 of the Talk podcast. You are here with your host, Budget Pedal Chap. You've also got with you today. We have got Gavin. Say hi, Gavin.
Hey, Gavin. Oh, that's me. Hi.
And we've got Paul.
Once again.
Yeah. I mean, you're almost as regular as I am.
You could do it without me.
I know, yeah. So what have we been up to this week, guys?
I bought a new pedal. When my new pedal arrived, I bought one of these Outlaw Effects lock, stock, and barrel pedal, which is like I think they're a French company making a whole bunch of micro pedals out of Asia, obviously.
Yeah.
But I found this. Well, yeah, I did a show taking this American man called Buck Cherry that were like big years ago.
Yeah.
And the dude was running this JCM 800, and then had this tiny pedal, and I'd never seen the brand. It's really kind of hard to figure out what the name of the brand was. So I did some ditching for ages and hadn't really had much of an online presence yet. Then I suddenly figured out and found what it was, and I found one and I bought one. They're really cheap, but it sounded amazing, this gig. So even when I played it, like, to check it was like, holy shit, this thing is kick-ass. Oh, sorry, I mean holy heck. So yeah, I bought this week, so I'm kind of excited to get it in the amp and give it a try.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I've started building a project guitar here of Mr. Andrew Ferris,
aka the Guitar Geek.
Yeah, a Gold Explorer, sparkle gold.
Yeah, sparkly gold, isn't it? Yeah.
Is that the one that involves a shitload of glitter spray?
Yeah, a shitload of it. It's almost technically too gold.
How much more gold?
Yeah, no gold.
None more gold.
I just thought I would pick like the guitar I normally would never play, and the colour I would never normally choose. So,
I mean,
it'll either be great and it'll change my life, or it'll ruin my life.
Well, one of the two. Go big or go home, as they say.
Exactly. Got to go or go home.
That's it. Those Outlaw Effects, I believe someone offered me one in a trade once. I didn't take it. I did a little bit of research, actually, and they are surprisingly cheap.
Yeah, they're real. I think this was like $42 American.
Wow.
When I was like, I mean, they're pretty much the exact same size as all those standard little
the Moore.
Kind of, they're exactly the same, like the same micro switches.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's also known as a Noon or something. But I did, when I couldn't find this company, I looked for all of the similar mini pedals that had the same controls, same set of three different sort of tone types.
Yeah.
But I couldn't really find anything. I found one of the pedal on AliExpress that looked similar, but I didn't take the chance on it. But
yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't assume it's completely an original thing, but from when I tried it, it was quite underlying.
And what kind of circuit is it? I mean, is it?
What, sorry?
I said, what kind of circuit is it? Is it like an OC clone or?
No idea. It's definitely a distortion pedal, so not an overdrive, but it's like it's got a three sort of I don't know whether it's a clipping diode setup or an EQ suite, but it's got like a sort of a vintage, a modern, and organic kind of thing on this micro switch. So. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. In some ways, it sounds like it's got a high pass filter or a low pass filter in it, but then in the modern setting, it's got a bit more kind of fizz. But at least so it reminds me of an old AOA drive pedal I had a switch between clean diodes, or I can't remember what the other option was, because it definitely is a definite, not just a tonal change, but an actual saturation change in it. But
cool. So that might be like a little hidden gem. Gav's sick right there.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's pedal board was really simple. It's basically just 5 micro pedals.
Oh, wow.
One of them was tuned. And it was just like someone got a photo of his board because I took a photo just to try and find this pedal, but plugged it in. But he just had this, I think it was like a 70s Les Paul, played it. It was just like hit the pedal and it was like, holy crap. Like, just a totally amazing, mind-blowing great return. And normally I find that's when other people play it, I'll buy the pedal and I'll take it home and I'll be like, this is so disappointing because it sounds crap when I play. But just with me playing like 3 chords on it, it was
It was
I
the
was
tone.
impressed.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Paul?
Not really, not so much. I'm hoping to start a guitar build project of my own. So I've been
Fantastic.
getting some designs together. One basic shape, normal telly shape. And I've got one it's kind of hybrid of a couple of different guitars put together.
Okay.
I'm not going to say too much about it. I'm just going to wait and see what happens when I try and build it.
Are you putting them from scratch or is this a kit you got found next to?
No, I'll be building them from scratch.
Whoo, skills.
What I'm probably going to try and do is see if I can get hold of a neck.
Yeah.
And then build a guitar around the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Necks are incredibly complex.
Yeah, I fancy the idea of being able to build my own neck, but I think I'll get some that square builder's pine just to have a crack at building before I actually use something expensive like maple or mahogany or whatever.
Yeah.
And you could also use the builder's pine neck or a slide guitar or something anyway.
Oh yeah.
Like a lap steel kind of thing.
Yeah. After what Chris was saying about Reverend.
Yeah.
Using pine their fretboards now, so that's given me a couple of ideas.
Yeah. I've recently built a pedal board out of pine because I picked up the slabs of
Keep
pine.
calling it a pedal board. We all know it's a shelves.
Yeah, it's my throwback to the 80s aerobics kind of era. So yeah, but yeah, I got this pine pretty cheap, so pedal board is fine. I thought it would probably make it light, but considering the size of the pedal board,
I'm going to say if too much of anything and it's not going to be light, could have made it out of balsa, wouldn't it? Still weird, so you had enough of it.
Yeah.
Solid pine or pine ply?
This is solid pine.
So you basically make a pallet.
Yeah, yep. Pretty much, yeah.
Put some metals on it.
I think it's called the tone palette though, so.
I could have sold a bunch of pallets. I've got a stack in my warehouse, all beautiful pine.
I've got a pallet outside me front door. I've not got around doing anything with it.
There you go, pedal board material there. I do pedal board material.
Aside for that, it's actually absolutely saturated with rainwater. I wouldn't even dare. It'll just warp as soon as you take it apart.
Just thinking of that, I could actually take a pallet, cut it in half, remove the tops off the front 3 rows, and you've got a 2-deck pedal board.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
I could get into this, recycle, get all the hipsters into it.
That's yeah.
Recycled pedal boards.
Upcycled pedal boards.
Yeah.
Just before we move on, Gav, I noticed you got a something with strings on your app.
Yeah.
What are we rocking?
This is one of my my long-term life goal guitars I always wanted to own. It's a Fernandez Vertigo, which is it's a unique Fernandez shape that they actually came up with. That I toured with a band. I think it was Goffin used to have.
Very cool.
And we set them, and it was like kind of weird. It's like a cross between
it's
like if you
offset,
imagine splitting body between the 2 pickups. From the neck pickup towards down the neck, it's the shape of like a Jazz Master.
Yeah.
And then if you look from pickup back, it's kind of like a rounded version of sort of say an Explorer tail.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of double offset, or like if you took the bottom end of a Jazz Master and flipped upside down.
Oh, wow,
so you
yeah,
can see this, like it's really kind of unique, but it's a really cool shape. It's one of the most original, coolest shapes I've seen in sort of the past 20 odd years.
I think I remember them. When did they come out?
Years ago. Yeah, the 90s, because the guys from White Zombie used to play them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's just a really fucking cool shape. Yeah, I ended up I couldn't find one that kind of were around, and then they did really. Fender's never sold that well everywhere. They kind of seemed to do a few endorsements, and they never really got off, I think, like 1 or 2. But I found a body online, and I thought I'll just buy another neck to it. And then I eventually found a neck later on as well. I kind of got pair them back together.
Nice.
But like the guitar had obviously the guy sang it because he obviously dropped it, and it had hit the volume pedal, and it had gone through the top
Ooh.
thin kind of layer of wood. So see, because it's a battery-mounted cavity, like a Les Paul kind of style. So
Yeah.
it just mashed that. So I ended up having to reglue and reblock that, and then sand it. And in the end, I cut a pickup for it anyway. So yeah, for life you couldn't really tell it had been damaged. But yeah, I haven't had it where I am now for ages. So when I was home the other day, I was like, oh, I must bring this back. I actually thought I lost it because I loaned it to some guys on tour and couldn't find it. And this was like beginning of the year when they toured, and I was like, oh, I hope it's not sitting at some airport somewhere. But I found it back in the workship, so it's back.
Has it got the Fernandez Sustainer in?
No, I've got a Fendi Sustainer in a really I think it doesn't really have a model number or a model name. It's sort of like their Super Strat.
Is this the one that Billy Gibbons gave you?
Yeah, I got one from Billy Gibbons years ago, like 12 years old or something, and it's got the Sustainer in it.
Oh, rock and roll.
It's kind of cool concept, the Sustainer.
Yeah.
Good.
It was like the biggest thing Fernandez were really famous for, wasn't it? The Sustainer.
Yeah, only thing they're famous for. It's weird, like they did really cool shapes that kind of no one really do. I think in the American book scene, they seem to do.
The Ravel.
They seem to endorse a few bands, and a few bands using their gear. I mean, golfing, we used a lot of their gear early on. I think kind of Sheck kind of nailed them on that kind of scene.
Yeah.
They seemed to getting a little bit bigger, but the Sheck became along, just endorsed every band could. That's pretty much how it returned.
The Fernandez Ravel was featured from the guy who's not Slash in Velvet Revolver. Well.
Yeah. That was their kind of Les Paul with the point lower, but wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And also the first what's his name? Billy Joe Armstrong for Green Day, his number one guitar.
Oh, his
copy.
Yeah, his green for the stickers.
They've been around for a long time. They went through the whole sort of his Fender lawsuit era. They used to make stunning Strat copies, and they were making better Strats at the time in the 80s than Fender was putting out.
Yeah.
And Fender basically sued the pants off them. And so they had to stop making exact Stratocaster replicas down to the headstocks and everything. And then they kind of came back. They disappeared off a while and then came back with the Super Strat era, and then went into these other unique shapes like the Vertigo, which is their own shape, and the Revel, which is their own shape. I think that's sort of the most stuff they did, but. And they did also do a Jazzmaster kind of style guitar for what we had on tour Goldfinger, but they seem to be quite rare.
I'm sure one of those cropped up on the Gear Exchange not so long back.
Yeah, they seem to be starting to resurface, which is kind of good. Like now I'm finding a lot of Vertigos online, so it's kind of like, this one ever gets all broken or stolen, I can find another one. But
yeah. Anyway, I think we've pontificated for quite enough.
Long.
Yeah, quite enough time. Just before we do move on, I've had a crack at re-recording the intro music to our wonderful podcast with actual real instruments this time. So hopefully next couple of episodes, it won't be ready for this one. I need to mix it and make it not sound like pants. But hopefully with the next couple, we could have a beautiful high def intro music. So fingers crossed. But anyway, let's dive headlong into the news. So Paul, you're going to start us off with 11 Townsend featured pedal, aren't you?
Yeah, it's not a new one actually, but I've only just come across it. Devin Townsend teamed up with Newer, and they released the Ocean Machine.
Yeah.
Now, basically what it is, it's a multi-effects delay and reverb.
Yeah.
You've got 2 independent delays, 13 types on each. Up to 2 seconds of delay, and ping-pong effect for stereo use. You've got 9 reverbs. You can change the order of effects in the chain. So you have either the reverbs first or the delay first, or presumably you can delay, reverb, delay. It's got a looper feature. 32 megabytes of internal storage, which gives up to 44 seconds of looping capability. Tap tempo for both the delays independently, so you have 2 different delays with tap tempo. It's got LCD menu screen. You can actually have an expansion for an external expression pedal. There's 8 banks of 3 presets, giving you a total of 24 programmable preset. MIDI control and stereo in and out. Now, as soon as I saw that, I thought of Chris Wilson because I know he likes his delay stuff.
He's a fan of stereo effects as well, isn't he?
Yeah. The other thing that sprang to mind as well is I don't know how close it is, but it sounds very much like the Strymon timeline.
Yeah.
Strymon timeline. Like I don't know how close they are in terms of features, but I would imagine whatever the Strymon timeline can do that the mirror can't, you wouldn't necessarily really need it anyway.
Yes. Yeah, it's got a lot of hidden features, doesn't it? The Strymon stuff. I completely have to plead ignorant with Strymon stuff because it's a company that I try and kind of steer clear of. Essentially because everyone's got them. And I'd like to not kind of follow the crowd so much on that one.
Yeah.
The
thing I was thinking with it is, whereas the Strymon's sort of £400-500,
yeah.
This thing, depending on where you get it from, is between 200 and 250.
That's not bad at all, is it?
No, it's got most of the features as Strymon for half price.
I mean, I'm thinking of pedals that've got that have got delay and reverb in. If you think back to about 2 months ago, the Wampler or Ethereal, that's got a delay and a reverb, but it's not quite intensive control wise as that. And I imagine the Wampler probably going to come at somewhere near that price point as well.
Probably, yeah. Well, we're always pretty good on price.
Generally speaking, the UK it gets hit by import a little bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, not so much bargain over here. So more really kind of throwing their tail in with the bigger boy there, isn't it?
Well, I'm throwing the towel. That means they've given up.
Yeah. Throwing whatever they're throwing in. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Yeah, it's late enough for me to not care, to be honest. Yeah, so I mean,
so you on the towel in.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, you're gonna have to carry me through it, if I'm honest. So yeah, I mean they're putting their chips down. They're throwing their metaphors in.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job at it as well, judging by what I've seen of the pedal. I mean, as usual, I've not had any first-hand experience with it, but as I say, from what I've seen of it, they've done a job.
Yeah.
And if it's endorsed by somebody like Devin Townsend, then it's not going to be a crap pedal.
Yeah, he's definitely got discerning ears, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But it gets back to this discussion we had with the Joy amps, the clones. Are people going to take the Moore name seriously? Are people going to shell out the 200-ish quid for this, or are they going to put money down and go?
I think they will.
You reckon?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think they'll have a place. I think people are slowly coming onto the fact that 99% of everything you buy is made in the East now. And, whether there's many boutique models that are handmade in America or the UK that break down as much as stuff coming out of Asia. So I think people are basically buying. I think people come to be re-educated in a world which is like you buy it and you try it, you don't like it, you sell it later.
Yeah.
No one is really...
Or send it back.
Yeah, no one really buying a long term. So many shops are offering, buy 30-day trial and send it if you're not happy, and they'll give you a shop credit. So, people aren't afraid to think to go, oh, this on paper does everything I like, so why not give it a try?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
and I think it'll sell to all those prog rock, modern prog rock metal bands.
Yeah, I think
it's pretty much what it'll be aimed for.
It might work well with the P-dubs scene in America, although with Devin Townsend endorsing it, it might swerve that market completely. But I mean, that kind of guys, the shoegazy kind of guys as well, because they're very much the soundscape ambience.
Yeah.
Stuff. And
yeah, I was thinking shoegazer.
With the amount of just tweakability, it does seem like a product worth keeping our eye.
Definitely.
Right, so sticking on the theme of Moore or Moor or whatever you call them.
Is that a cat from Bristol?
Moor. You can tell it's late. So they've been teasing a new product this week. It's a multi-effect unit, but unlike the red truck, it is not shaped like any kind of freight vehicle.
Was it red?
Nor is it red, yeah, which is a giant disappointment to me personally. However, it's looking like a serious bit of kit. So, I mean, I had a quick look at the specs, and it mentioned that they're now delving into sims as well as various effects. And I saw a little video on it today where the expression pedal was being used to manipulate dials in real time, so you can assign certain parameters to the inbuilt expression pedal, which allows for kind of fine tuning on the fly. I mean, apart from that, I've not got a great deal of news on it. It is coming out in October sometime, so we've got
mid-October. I think they released it at the Guitar Expo in China, which is the 11th to 15th of October, I believe.
So definitely keep our eyes and ears peeled, as much as you can keep your ears peeled.
Yep.
For some more news on that.
Who knows? Maybe come out with the Dean Townsend edition next.
Yeah, blue with the little logo and 18 types of day.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah.
Oh, bless. So moving swiftly, because we've got sound effects too. We've got another bit of not necessarily new news, but kind of a thing we want to shed the spotlight on. So, what's this? Blue guitar amp on, Paul? You have some information?
Yeah, I like Gavin was saying before we started that it's been around for a while, but I've not actually seen it.
Yeah.
I'd not heard it. So I thought, well, this is worth investigating. I'm actually going to go into what makes it special later on.
Mm-hmm.
But for a starting point, imagine having a 100-watt amp head that sits on your pedal board.
I mean, I can imagine it with my pedal boards.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's I can have it on top tier.
Standard like pedal train or what have you.
Yeah.
Other good pedals are available. But anything like that, can you imagine sticking a 100-watt Marshall head on top of
it? It would be somewhat fruitless endeavour, wouldn't it? It'd pointless. You'd have a Marshall head on top of a small tray.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas the Amp 1 will allow you to do exactly that and have a full pedal board array. Well, a full pedal array, should I say.
So what kind of size are we looking for this then? For it to be able to fit on a pedal board? What kind of size?
I've forgotten physical dimensions, but it's around about the size of a one of the smaller Bosch units, the Bosch multi-X units.
I was kind of hoping that you'd come up with some obscure measurements, like 3 packets worth is originals long, or...
I said a pizza box, a small pizza box.
Yeah,
like a
you're
4
totally
size.
right with that, Gav.
I think I know my pizza boxes. If you can go for a 4-size small pizza, then that'll be the size of that.
There we go. So I think in the future we'll use this Gavin's pizza scale.
Can actually give you dimensions. It's 9.65 inches width, 2.6 inches high, and 7.56 inches depth.
That's a man who knows his pizza.
The smarter system, 245 mils, 68 mil, 192 mil.
There we go.
At 1.2 kilograms.
Oh my god. The amazing thing about it, though, apart from all that, is it's actually all valve.
Okay.
Which,
interesting.
Again, like I say, I'm going to sort of go more into detail on that later.
You are being a giant tease today, aren't you, Paul?
Well, yeah. There's a good reason for that, though. Because it ties in with a lot of other products as well.
Yeah. Plus, you don't want to spluff your information load too early, do you?
No, that's it.
So what's special about this low guitar amp then? What's brought it to your attention, Paul?
Well, I was just basically snooping around the net, and I came across it. And it, as I say, it's something that's been around for a while, but I've not heard of it, and I thought it could do with some exposure.
Yeah.
Ollie Miles actually one of his friends has got one, and he said he's actually...
Is this Ollie Miles of Fret Talk fame?
Yes,
The Ollie Miles?
Yeah, his friend's got one, and he said it sounds absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And like I listened to the sound clips, it does sound like you would expect a 50 or 100 watt Marshall head to sound like. But apart from that, I don't want to call it a modern amplifier because it's not really a modern amplifier,
Yeah,
but
it's using
it does have
tubes.
elements of that to it. So you can go like your classic Fender style amps, your classic Marshall style amps, your modern high gain amps, for biggie styles.
That's really versatile as
and
well.
You're getting all of that for about 550 quid.
Can I just try and give some little bit more information?
Yes, sure.
It's a tube preamp with a Class D digital power output. So it's a hybrid.
Ah, right.
And it uses nano tubes, which is similar to it's a 12AX7. And the guy behind it is a guy that used to design for Hughes and Kettner. Tom's Blue, his name is, I think he's Scandinavian or Swedish or something.
No, German.
So there you go. So yeah,
Is the guy who also...
he's got a good pedigree of amp designer. Hughes and Kettner were always kind of quite early in pushing with their MIDI switching and the tech inside their tube-driven heads. And he was kind of behind a lot of that with the Traxxas series, I think it was, or whatever.
I hope the sound card when you mention one of them features.
It's all right, I'll bleep it.
A bit later on.
Oh, oh, and with that, I don't have my guitar.
Oh no.
But I played one here recently. I can't remember where it was, but I remember someone pulled one out. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And yeah, it was really nice. Like it had all the dynamics and everything you'd expect from any normal kind of tube amp. It didn't. You couldn't have told it wasn't. It didn't. If you had your close, it just sounded like any normal standard kind of tube amp. But it was really.
It's got a full switch, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got switches on the front. I think so. You can do between. I think you can think how it works is you can pick different amps. And there's a boost you kick in to hit like a drive on it, so if you were changing channel on an amp. So it's very much just basically exactly like an amp on a pedal, but they've kind of utilised the best of technology and smart tone shaping to put it together.
Just going back to Thomas Luke, I'm sure he was linked with some pedal design. Is he the same who did the Golden Pony by X5, or am I completely lost in this?
I've heard of that one.
Have you not? Oh, you are out of the loop. It is banded around. It's supposed to be really good actually. It's pretty affordable. It's a wonder why I haven't bought myself one recently, to be honest.
Yeah.
You just cut out there. Sorry, Gav.
Sorry, was that the Golden Brownie piece you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting writing a lot of them at the moment.
Yeah, some nice things. I'm sure I'll get one before long. I like a Marshall flavour drive. So let's hear some more about this super secret technology.
What I said to you, new tube, what would you automatically think?
I think it's going to cost me some money for a new tube. They're not cheap.
Right. It's a recent technology advancement in valves.
Yes. I've heard about them in the Vox series of amps. The little there's purported to be 50 watt, but they're tiny heads.
Yeah, basically, YouTube is a company and it is in and of itself.
Okay.
But they're providing the nanotubes that go into things like the Vox ADO, Vox MV50, and into the Blue Guitar Amp 1.
Cool.
So whereas my amplifier is a Vox. Right, what have I got now?
Is it a VT?
VT, yeah, VT40. I forgot what my amp was. So my amp's a Vox VT40X, which is a modelling amplifier, and it runs for me a 12AX7 in preamp,
12AX,
which is a really good valve-like quality, which a lot of hybrid amps seem to lack.
Yeah.
This doesn't. But you consider you can get an amplifier. they're going for it a lot with the MV series
Yeah.
amplifiers, and also in the what was the GST camp brought out recently, the VX50. That's all cheap thanks to YouTube technology.
Nice.
Now, basically, it's around about the size of your average mic chip.
Okay.
But
So
it's a valve.
Oh.
It's a complete valve in that size.
This may be a game changer then.
I think it will. I mean, like I say, Vox have put it to massive use.
Yeah.
Like I say, I mean, the ADO, you've got basically a 50-watt amplifier, not the ADO, the MV50 is a 50-watt amplifier, the size of an average boombox.
Boombox.
Nice. It's a tiny. It's an alternate. It's a tiny little amplifier head.
Yeah.
That you put it on a 412 cabinet, it'd be absolutely swamped. You wouldn't be able to see it, but it's got the output to run it.
Yeah, I mean,
Is this Korg net or chip tube thing?
Yeah, Korg have actually got the exclusive deal with YouTube to use their technology, which is why there's so much is appearing in the.
I think Korg bought YouTube, didn't they?
I've not heard that, but they may well have done. I mean, Korg are massive in the electronics industry anyway, even without Vox. And obviously they were
own Marshall.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they bought but the parent company bought a bunch of different things, and I think they had Marshall for a while, and that's why Marshall was making Voxes in the UK. There was weird links between them all. And then Korg shipped all the stuff to China.
Yeah. Well then, as well, I mean, you look at sort of the 90s, Korg were the big boys in keyboard production before, 80s and 90s, should I say, before Kurzweil took over. So, when you consider that, you've got a massive pedigree there.
Yeah.
But like I say, I mean, the ability to use something like a 12AX7 or an EC83 and be the same size as a mic chip, it's, like you say, Adam, it's going to be an absolute game changer as it becomes more and more common and popular.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine once start getting into effects tools.
Yeah, definitely. Having true valve
something
tone.
Like that headphone amps that'll have true tube sound in them.
Yeah.
A pair of headphones with tube in them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was what I was saying about the Amp 1. I mean, it's thanks to YouTube technology that Thomas Blue has managed to make a 100-watt amplifier that'll just sit on your pedal button.
Yeah. I mean, I heard from some other podcasts. There were some teething problems. The Marshalls, the MV50s, being that the 50-watt power rating was not. It was very dependent on the cab that you were putting it into, and the resistance the cab produced altered the power output of the amp.
I think with the new technology there's going to be teething problems, so that's to be expected. But the applications that it's bring possibilities for are absolutely immense.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm very much crossing my fingers that this is going to take off, because having ultimately valve technology in tiny packages, it's only going to be a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, what a lot of them are doing as well is they're giving you the option to either, certainly with things like the MV50, the ADO, and the Amp 1, they're giving you the ability to either run an actual cabinet, like maybe 12, 4x12 or whatever you want to run from it, or you can plug it straight into a deck with a speaker related out.
And that
so you've got true amp sounds going straight into a mixing desk.
Yeah.
Which means for a lot of bands, no more putting heavy cabinets around.
Yeah, it makes the load out so much easier.
Yeah, I mean, think it's going to be a great compromise for the purists, because I know there's people who aren't really too massively keen on the likes of 1.6 Helix and that. So for the sort of people, this is going to be a brilliant compromise, because you've not got a massive head unit cabinet, but you've got true valve technology.
Yeah. Those kind of people, I think, may take some convincing, because I mean, like you say, modelling technology and the likes of the Losix Helix and the Kemper and the Axifest, they are ubiquitous these days, especially as Gavin mentioned when he was on last, with touring bands.
Yeah.
And you're seeing them more and more these days, and the gap between the tone quality you get from the quote unquote real amps and the modelling technology is so fine these days that you'd be hard pressed to distinguish in a blind test.
Yeah, lines are being blurred massively.
But you still get people who are clawing on hopelessly to the true valve technology, quoting that it's more dynamic and that it gives better response and so on and so forth.
Whilst there's the same as people are still saying vinyl better than CD.
Well,
I'm not going to disagree, because vinyl does have its place, and it does, like, it's playing vinyl because it does give you a real sense of, I don't know, it gives you a feeling of nostalgia that CDs don't.
I think that's kind of hitting on the point itself there, to be fair.
Yeah, it's the sense of nostalgia.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think as companies go more and more toward YouTube technology,
yeah,
and it becomes more and more affordable, people are going to they're going to push towards it, almost unintentional. And when that happens, then obviously YouTube's going to have a massive role to play.
Well, I mean,
I think it'll be the case like with Apple technology, because by the looks of it, no, I just read up on it that YouTube is a separate company, but Korg own the license for that product. So they to use it, you'll have to go through Korg and license it off the same as for CD technology. You had to license it off Philips. So I think basically the same as Apple. Certain Apple applications, programs, basically to use YouTube, you'll have to go to Korg, get the technology, and then have to have on the bottom of the manual something somewhere contains Korg YouTube technology. So there'll either be an influx of people wanting to do that, there'll be a lot of people scrambling to come up with another design of another microtube that's the same. Because I mean, we did have for a while, there was some pedal makers using microtubes which were about the size of a pencil rubber, and they were tiny little vacuum tubes that were coming, I think, from, I can't remember which technology they were coming from, but they were like I think they were used in some kind of mid-era computer stuff, early kind of 80s and the 90s, but it was really bizarre, and there was someone found a bunch of them. They were making micro amps on little Hammond pedal closures and things, and acted exactly like tubes. They heated up like conventional tubes, whereas the new tube technology emits a lot less heat and requires a lot less power. So I think people will be, if this is the next step towards hybrid technology, I think it'll see a lot of people come up with something that doesn't infringe on the patent, but is competing. Because some people may not want to be giving Korg $1 for every pedal they sell for that technology or whatever it's going to cost.
It's a clever foot to have in the market, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Korg pretty smart on it, because I mean they've put it into everything. They're putting it into their keyboards. They've put it into the Vox keyboard. It'll go into Vox amps. I think it'll end in everything that Korg has a hand on.
Yeah,
it's future-proofing for them.
Our final word on this, I'm kind of looking out with keen intent, looking for that micro vinyl technology to come out. So
micro vinyl.
Yep. Think if they can do it with tubes, micro vinyl. Let's see it happen. Come on, Korg.
That was all the single, wasn't it? It was 45. It's been around.
No, I'm after vinyl that's the size of like a thumbnail, but perfect.
Just jumping in on that vinyl thing though, so many people that are like, "Oh, vinyl's the best form to listen to music." Vinyl's just a format. If it wasn't mastered well, if it was using cheap, shitty vinyl like a lot of old records were, then it doesn't stack up against a modern vinyl that's on a heavier gauge, piece of plastic, and it's been actually again grooved right when it's made. So vinyl's like anything; it can be great on one recording and it can be terrible on other.
Show.
Absolutely.
So it's near a guarantee of optimal sound, high fidelity quality.
Yeah.
Which I think people kind of forget, and suddenly in the new era of the new school kids who are into vinyl saying how it's something better. It's like it's not a quantifiable equation.
Yeah. But we're gonna move on because we've got some questions to get through. Honestly, that they are meaty questions. I'm looking at them. I'm contemplating which order to go in. We'll go with the Floyd Rose one first, and we'll end up on the heavy hitter. Go on, Paul. What's this Floyd Rose debate that we need to desperately hash out?
There seems to be a lot of contention on the group page as to whether a Floyd Rose is actually a good one or not.
Yeah.
Now, for me personally, I've pretty much had Floyd Rose guitars all my life.
Yeah.
Ever since I started playing electrics. The one thing that I always hated about them is the fact that they float, which kind of defeats the object of having a Floyd Rose. But, I mean, I think in essential design, they are actually a brilliant kit.
Yeah.
But there are those that absolutely hate them. So it's like, you know, is it an essential design or is it, you know, just a gimmick? What's sort of opinion on that?
If only
I think
we
it's
had.
iconic design.
If only we had someone who has worked in the industry. Who could
Okay,
give
right.
us-
Yeah. In my view, if you're a player that uses a tremolo, it's the best design tremolo in the world.
Yeah.
I personally have had Floyd Roses. I've had cheap knockoff Floyd Roses on my own guitars, licensed ones, and they've been questionable. I had two guitars with Carla Flyers, and I always gravitated more towards the Carla Flyer. I've still got a ESP kind of thing with the Carla Flyer, which I like. I just find the action and the way it trims and moves is a bit lighter, but Carlo really competed. Floyd Rose took over the market, and for players that want to do all that shred, bendy, whaley sort of stuff, you can't do it on a standard. Well, you can't do it as well on a standard Strat.
Yeah, you can't do it consistently for the
Yeah, no,
entire
Strat
night.
Actually, I did a show. It's on the same book, but just going back a bit. The Floyd Rose tremolo, when it was designed by Mr. Floyd, whatever his name was, there was a guy who does a really good Jimi Hendrix tour called Randy Henson. If you like Hendrix, check this guy. He does note for note, word for word, everything exact Jimi Hendrix. But he's telling me the story. He's really good friends with Mr. Floyd Rose and is friends with Eddie Van Halen, and put the two together originally. He was like, "There's one kid coming up, and this guy would be a great person to sign up for you, like tremolos." And yeah, got a lunch date, introduced to Floyd Rose, Eddie Van Halen, who went on and made the Floyd Rose what it is today. And if you're a player that aspires to do anything like that sort of Halen style, just guitar wizardry, you can't do it in anything less than Floyd Rose.
Yep.
But not every Floyd Rose created equal.
No, and I've never had a fully original Floyd Rose. But I actually found that the guitars that I've had, even with the licensed units, they've all been fairly reasonable compromises to having a full-on Floyd Rose.
Yeah.
The only downside to them, for me, is the locking nut, because it doesn't allow for, well, and as I say, the fact that it's floating, it doesn't allow for rapid tune changes. So whereas if I took Strat to it and I suddenly want to drop between songs, it'll take literally 3 seconds to it.
Yeah.
It'll take you 1 second on the floor if you put the EVH drop D tuner on the back, on the first pin. You just pull it out and flick it around and it goes down and it tunes a drop D. Had them on those guitars and they're amazing. Like, absolutely amazing.
Does it work
Did
well?
they do it without a tuning discrepancy?
No tuning discrepancies at all. We have all of our guitar Floyd Roses, and they all of those EVH drop D. And it sits on the little back. It sits on the back.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the back of the Floyd Rose is a part that the Allen key goes to that you tighten to clamp the guitar in, and then the micro tuners put that down. So by basically changing the angle up or down, it changes the tuning. The EVH is basically like a wedge, and as it pushes in, it tunes it. It either pushes the pit down, raising the string your E, or when you release it, it drops down to the preset D. So you basically set up so it goes E or D, and you can just flip it. And these guys would do it all day and just pull it out, pull it in, and it would go straight to D. And if you adjust your strings, set it up right, it works perfectly every time. And again, it's an Eddie Van Halen product, and that guy would not put something out that didn't work.
I think the difference with Eddie was, he wouldn't know if it was like a guitar tune anyway, because he never had any upbend on his trem. He always had it decked.
But yeah, give it a try. Like, you got a Floyd and you want to drop D, right, those things work.
Well, the one that I've got won't allow for that because the shape of the barrel on the clam bolt is too thick to allow for that amount of movement. So the best I can hope for, if I've got the micro tune fully in, and then I'll wind it completely out, the best I can hope for is D quad tone sharp.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
they're not-
doesn't quite work.
Not really designed there. The system is never designed. It's inherent. It's magic of the Floyd Rose. It's to lock it so well in standard tuning or whatever you set it as to get that everything you do won't affect it. So that's why all these people had to add other things on to try and that drop tune there. Yeah, they're designed to be the ultimate in tune Floyd, trend system. So I think trying to do quick drops or trying to retune on stages, really tough. You play it out and you have to have an Allen key near you or something, but.
I know with mine, I put a bracket in to block off the up bend net. Because the other problem for me as well is for some reason, I've never been able to get a Floyd Rose completely into E standard. It's always been like a microtone flat.
Well, weird. I wonder what. It's odd. I mean, yeah.
It's probably the way I've been setting them up, but I've just never managed to achieve it.
Yeah, I mean, they should with any kind of stuff, they should play a standard tuning perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I've had over my years play. I've had a few, and I've had some of the licensed ones that wouldn't stay in tune for love nor money. And I found that the ones that worked the best for me were the Ibanez ones, even the relative cheap Ibanez trem systems, which are based on the Floyd ones. Yeah, I think the one that I've got is an Edge 3, which is supposed to be their cheapest version. But even I think I've had a guitar probably about somewhere close to 10 years, and it still holds perfect tune.
Oh, my Showmaster's 13 years old, and that's got Floyd licensed copy on it.
Yeah.
The only downside to it is the amps got a bit too much play in it. So sometimes when you hit a note, you can hear it rattle away and it causes ghost notes.
Yeah.
But that aside, it does actually work really well. I mean, you can dive bomb with it as much as you want. It'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, I must admit, I lost the arm for my Edge system long ago. Only one of these pushing ones anyway. But if I want to use the bar feature, I'll pull up on the back of the trem stem.
Yeah.
I'm not an avid user of it. I tend to use it like kind of Bigsby style gentle variety. Yeah, I mean it stays in tune wicked. And as Paul was saying, I wish they'd do a system where they don't have any movement in the trem system, and it's just the locking part. So you have perfectly tuned guitars that just stay.
Ibanez have done that, haven't they? They've got a bridge which looks exactly like Floyd Rose, but a fixed bridge.
Yeah, I think
size and weight with microtuners in it.
Mick Thompson's signature had one from.
Yeah, it's on a couple of RGs as well, and I don't know whether they did that because of the actual audible difference. It's because of the massive metal you hit at that end of the bridge, because compared to a Strat or a Tele, you've got a lot of solid cast steel in there, so I don't know whether it just to basically look like it is, but not have any of the pain or struggle with it.
Yeah.
See, there's an argument there as well, because some people say that because you've got less contact area, because you've literally only got the two knife edges on the pivot posts, you're losing a lot of tone because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your take on that?
I don't know. I mean, you still get your strings terminating in a solid amount of metal that's really weighty. Like if you take your Floyd Rose out and lift it up in your hand, those things weigh a lot. Unless you go with the titanium option, which is supposedly like some of the cars I had on tour tied the titanium what do you call them, trem blocks, which is super light, but they will maybe give you more sustain of a note because the molecules in the titanium are packed closer together. But
yeah, I think George is one of them.
A lot of the Ibanez I've seen have basswood bodies anyway, and I don't think that wood's incredibly staining anyway. I don't think it's a great tone wood.
No,
it's super light. It's just a step above balsa wood. So I think a lot of mass does come from basically that bridge system.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say balsa, I don't mean that in a nasty way. I mean, I had a few of those new RGs that have the strap pin pull straight up to the top of the body in a show with no relatives, and they've gone to fix them, and you just basically push on the wood. It's so soft. And it's like, this is insane that this is a car body.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the choice of basswood is down to its neutral nature in terms of the colour the tone gives, because mahogany guitars tend to be very kind of honky in the mid range, and
well, it depends on the kind of mahogany where it's grown, where it's made.
Yeah, we had a little chat about this before, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
for the sake of keeping this one on time, I'm going to save that one
Yep.
for the next cast. But we're going to have to write this down because it.
Don't start on Filmwood, you'll be there all week.
Oh yeah. But generally speaking, I've found mahogany guitar tend to have a resonant peak in the frequencies, whereas basswood tends to.
Doesn't anything.
You get your flattering of your pickup more than.
Yeah, exactly.
more than
That's
the
why
guitar.
they're showing a shred metal thing who don't really want super long stain or anything. They just want super attacky guitars that play the notes and move on.
Indeed. Speaking of moving on, see, master of segue, mate. This is a topic which will require some finesse. So I'm going to be very delicate about the way I approach this question. So, last podcast, you on this podcast, Paul?
Yeah.
Cool, excellent. So, last podcast we talked about the Saint Vincent guitar, because there's a new one essentially with some limited colours, and it got us all discussing the upsurgence of female guitar players within kind of popular culture, and what our thoughts and opinions on that kind of area, and on Music Man taking the Saint Vincent as a almost a beacon of feminism within the guitar community. So
personally, I think that guitars for one thing is a load of bollocks, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
I mean, look at when they first started doing guitars that they thought would appeal to young girls. What were they releasing? It was Hello Kitty.
Oh, Daisy Rock. Yeah.
Daisy Rock.
Which were
Daisy Rock and Hello
insulting.
Kitty. And to be honest, I mean, the Daisy Rock stuff was shite.
Yes, it weren't very well made.
The Hello Kitty stuff wasn't too bad because it was done in conjunction with recognised brands like Fender.
Where it's a Squire, yeah. And they still go these days. I mean, they go for more than they're selling for. But it tends to be kind of young blokes who buy it for the lols. And they put like MGs and Carlas on it. And
I mean, look at the recognised female guitarists. What are they playing? They're playing guitars that are played by blokes for 50 odd years. I mean, to delve into the cheesy pop world that everybody recognises. You've got the likes of Taylor Swift playing Les Pauls. You've got Avril Lavigne, who played Telecasters. You've got Madonna playing ESPV.
Madonna had a Les Paul custom at some point as well, didn't she?
I think it was an ESP.
Was it Eclipse?
Eclipse, yeah. Yeah, I think she's actually an ESP endorsee.
I've got to say, I haven't been following Madonna's guitar career too closely.
I haven't. I just like ESP guitars, and that's how I found. But my interest in ESP guitars comes from the likes of Queensryche and Lynch Mob. But I was looking through the list of endorsees, and like I say, Madonna.
Madonna cropped up. I did see that.
I've seen a video of her playing Cemetery Gate by Pantera.
Madonna playing Cemetery Gates?
Yeah, she was actually playing a Pantera tune. Which I sort of, when I found it on YouTube, I was like, nah, this is going to be absolute rubbish. Because Madonna's not known for playing guitar. But when I listened to it, I thought, you know what, that girl's got some chops.
I think I need to check this out, because I was always going to stop there and say, if we're talking about kind of taking female guitar players seriously, I think we're probably barking up the wrong tree with Madonna, but...
well, that's just looking at it in popular culture.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take the road less travelled, then you start discovering people like Chantal Gregor, Joanne Taylor, Orianthi. If you look back to the 90s, you had L7, which was an all-girl punk.
Jennifer Batten.
I was going to say, when I think
Jennifer
of
she was
Michael Jackson's guitarist, when I think of female guitarists, my mind springs almost instantly to Jennifer Bunn, because that girl
Joan
has
Jett.
some chops.
Joan Jett, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So I think, there's a lot of people in the women aren't as good at playing guitar as men. It's crap. They haven't looked far enough. Like I said, you've got Orianthi, she can keep up with Steve Vai.
Yes, she knows slouches of Orianthi.
She has absolutely no problem threading her way on a PRS.
I think the problem.
Go ahead, Gav.
Go on.
I was say I think problem is not just with the guitar brand so much. I think the problem is that the music industry for a very long time has been very sexist and misogynistic. Still is in some parts of it, and I think there's always been a look where you put a woman on stage to look sexy. You don't put a woman on stage to really add to the whole band thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of amazing women session players. There has been since you look at Cap K and the Wrecking Crew and stuff like that. But the modern music history of has basically objectified women in such a way that if you're a woman trying to go into the industry, you're kind of pushed towards trying to be a sexual object. And if you want to be taken seriously, it's quite hard. And I think that's the problem. That because of that, then you have the follow through where you have. Like I can't remember which guitar magazine it was, which did their new guitar issue, which is just all porn star models in bikinis around guitars, and that in no way has taken us further down the road to equality between the sexes in the music industry. It's basically taken us back 100 years because it was not one picture of a guy with a guitar; it was all just a porn star. So it was it just sets this whole guitars for guys who basically
boys
want to find these women with fake boobs, and it's just dated and old.
Yeah, that was a massive thing through the late 80s and into the 90s.
Yeah.
Every guitar picture you saw, there was a half-naked girl draped around it.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same with everything, with cars, with motorcycles, with anything. That's what we used to sell things, sold, and now it's kind of like, it's kind of cringy.
Motorcycle magazines are still not
Probably,
so much a car magazine. But one thing I will say is there are, I'm not looking at the guitar manufacturers as beings of feminism. What I'm looking at is the actual people, the women themselves who are playing guitar now, are fighting to change perception of the industry. And I think they're actually doing a pretty damn good job of it. I've already mentioned Rianthi, but then, like I say, there's Chantal McGregor. She's not a well-known name, but she doesn't do that. Oh, I need to run around in a bikini and all that.
Exactly.
She goes on stage in an almost hippie-ish dress, bare feet, and she's stood there with a music man, Patrici, and she is a very good guitar player.
Yeah.
Same Joanne Shaw Taylor. For current blues players, she is up there at the top.
Yeah, she's she's holding her around it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And she plays Telecasters and Les Pauls, and she's as good as any current male blues player, and that's especially considering that she writes her music as well.
Yeah, someone who is kind of similar in on the surface to that. It's Gretchen Mann. I mean, she's often seen with a Les Paul long around her neck. I believe she was in a female fronted or an all-female Led Zeppelin tribute, and she's got a solo career in and of itself as well.
Yeah, you've got a number of female tribute bands that are hitting the scene pretty big, actually. I mean, there's the one you mentioned. There's
the Iron Maidens as well.
The Iron Maiden, yeah. Nita Strauss.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Actually started Iron Maiden. She went by the name of Courtney Cox when she was with Iron Maiden. But when what's his name? When Al Cooper discovered her and brought her into his band, she went to her. I don't know if it's a real name or if it's a different stage name, but she went to the name of Nita Strauss.
Yeah.
And again, she's absolutely phenomenal at playing guitar. She does sort of go a little bit back to bikini wearing, posing model sort of look, but there's no denying she can really play the guitar.
Yeah.
But you've also got Cowgirls from Hell, the Pantera cover band.
Nice.
I
mean, you've got to appreciate them for the puns alone, haven't you? These bands.
Yeah, but it's not just that. I mean, like I say, the solid performance that they put in as musicians.
Yeah. I mean, you can't half-arse the Pantera, can you?
And you just say they are phenomenal musicians.
Yeah.
So I think the likes of them, you say Annie Clark from St. Vincent.
Yeah.
you look back through history, I think it was Caesar had a female guitarist.
Ash as well, I believe. Ash, the female rhythm guitarist.
I can't remember about Ash.
But yeah, I mean, they have.
Last year,
They have been to debate, haven't they? Yeah.
Female guitarist, male drummer. So you've had a lot of female-fronted bands throughout history that have come up, surveyed a bank, and then just sort of disappeared. But I think that's changing now.
Yeah.
I think the female guitarists that are coming up now are making an impression, and they're sticking around.
One kind of fun thing that I'd like to touch upon about the subject before we wrap it up is the response you're getting in kind of forum chat around the internet from the guitar community, and there's opinions which are kind of dividing people. You get a lot of kind of new modern guitarists who feel it is their duty to champion female guitarists, and then other sides of the argument are saying that it's going over the top. Sometimes it's almost like virtue signalling, that they are trying to prove how progressive they are, and
it's sort of feminism gone wrong in a way, I think.
Yeah, almost kind of being overly feminist.
There are people who see it as their duty to champion a female guitar player. Well, it's not anybody's duty to champion the female guitar player. It's everybody's duty to accept the female guitar player.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you turn around to me and offer me two guitar players, and one was a male, one was a female, and said, which do you want in your band? I've got a balding 50-year-old male guitarist, or I've got,
a balding 50-year-old female guitarist.
A balding 50-year-old male guitarist, and I've got an almost mod-looking 20-odd-year-old guitarist. Who am I going to go for? Well, I'm not going to handle that based on how they look. As far as I'm concerned, if the male guitarist is a better guitarist, I'll go for him. If the female guitarist is a better guitarist, I'll go for her. I don't care what they look like. I want somebody who's a good guitarist every month.
Yeah, of course. And I think we need to judge every person on their own virtues rather than aesthetic, or this almost positive discrimination that some guitarists are giving, that we need to encourage every female guitarist because they are so few and far between. It's almost over the top.
I think there's an element of female guitarists do need to be encouraged, because a lot of women look at the sort of the derision that's been heaped on female guitarists in the past, because everybody just thinks all women are capable of is a better than guitar, and that's it. Attitude around.
Yeah.
So I think there is an element of, we do need to be encouraging female guitarists to take up lead, songwriting. If they want to learn to shred like Steve Vai, go for it. Learn to shred like Steve Vai.
I don't think anyone needs to learn to shred like Steve.
Like you say, I think there's a difference between saying it's okay, and
I think
saying, right, we need to stop everything. No more male guitarists allowed. Everybody needs to be female.
I think
it seems to be the way some people are going.
It's finding a line between encouragement and patronising.
Yes. I think it starts from a very young age. Like, I know in New Zealand we have a really good and amazingly well-run and organised competition. It's called the Smoke-Free Rock Quest. Now, it's called the Smoke-Free because it's sponsored by an organisation that is promoting giving up smoking so kids don't smoking, but runs through all the high schools. And basically, it's a regional Battle of the Bands competition. So bands from the North and the South Island will go through their regional heats, then they'll go to the South Island champions in the North Island, then they'll all come together at the end and it'll work its way through. Now, it's just, you can really notice now in New Zealand that we've had a lot more female musicians coming through, because in that area and in this era, schools have been more inclusive, where instead of pushing the girls towards classical instruments like they used to when I was at school, and the boys towards drums and guitars, it's kind of whatever instrument you want to pick, play, and there'll also be teachers that'll say, this year you played guitar, how about this year you try drums and see if you want to try that as well. There's teachers that are really pushing to just, it's not in that kind of like we have to push more, because I know it's just like do whatever you want to do, but just be all inclusive. And I think because of that now I'm seeing a lot of females coming through. There's more bands I see now with female members, whereas it used to just be really heavily male dominated, and a lot of that has come through from the Smokes Rock Quest era, because it's even talked about now the amount of people as becoming more noticeable in our music industry in New Zealand, that that the old school dinosaurs who are very misogynistic and male chauvinist are having to include more females. It's a conversation that's constantly going on. So and it's a lot of it down to this. So I think it's early on when you tell young women, you don't reinforce in them as some kind of a very stereotypical attitude that if you want to be in a band you have to sit at the back, or you'll be the girl up front with her being the backup singer or something. So I think that's where it starts, is by the time they come through the college system into university, kind of form their own self-worth and stuff, and they're more ready to take on the males that are sort of looking down on. But if they try and take it up later in life when they've been pushed into this corner of thinking that they're not equal, or they can be the same as Slash, or all these male guitarists, then it's always going to be a uphill struggle.
Yeah, the fight's already won, isn't it? Really.
And there's always going to, coming from when I used to manage a guitar store, there was always a fine line between, you couldn't have, say, a 10-year-old girl or a 12-year-old girl playing an instrument having the same upper body strength as, say, a 12-year-old boy who was just hitting puberty. So certain instruments you'd have to say, if you're a female, you might want to get a 3/4 size guitar, because it'll be more, easy to play. You'll be likely to put down and be put off it. So sometimes there is particular need. The same if you've got a smaller kid. If I've got a small kid that comes in, a small 12-year-old boy instead of a big 12-year-old boy, if I give him a full-size Dreamlord, it's like, well, he's not going to fit it. There is a certain amount we're not built the same. I can't hang a lead around my neck all night and play it full weighted, because it's going to go backache, but someone else could. So there's always going to be space where we have to look at it, but at the same time we can't pigeonhole girls and say you've got to play Pink Hello Kitty guitar because that's what girls play. Daisy Rock was good in the way that they took some prominent designs, like Les Paul Jr. stuff, and we did, but then they did a whole bunch, the pink sparkly stuff, which was a bit stereotypical.
Yeah, they had blowers and they had hot guitars.
But if you're a young female and that's what you want to buy, and they've gone off that, good on. But if they're assuming that's what they want, that's the thing. But they did do a couple of good lines of, they did. I did work with a woman who was endorsed by, and they had like a Les Paul Jr., but it was like a little bit smaller and a little bit lighter, and it was a killer guitar, but it was just designed for a smaller female frame, so you could play it. But
we had a red sparkly. It was a junior top. It was a single pickup, wraparound bridge. And it went great, if I'm honest.
The build quality wasn't amazing. It was back in that era of a lot of Asian cars that I don't think they were.
Yeah.
Quality control or their setup were great.
That was a hell of a lot more of an inclusive guitar, because we could give that to boys well, and they didn't necessarily mind playing that. Whereas if you've got a guitar that's pink shaped like a heart, it's very much it's niche, isn't it?
I like a lot of females that were drawn when Fender re-released their Mustang basses, those sort of small short scale basses. They were really picked up, because I don't know if there's ever done a kind of female focused instrument range or anything, but I know that series was really popular because a lot of women were like, just putting on a massive bass and stretching my arms out a little bit. That was a bit tough, but they were playing those sort of scales.
Yeah,
it was nice and easy. So I think Fender was smart in keeping the kind of thing going, because that short scale is always helpful.
Yeah, I think to be honest, we've tackled that debate very carefully, but very thoroughly as well. And I'm impressed how well we've tackled, to be honest, because I think there's a lot of scope for things to be taken the wrong way.
You think I was being careful when I said having female-oriented guitar is a load of bollocks?
I did wonder where you're going, Paul.
It's true though. There's no need to have guitars that specifically focus females unless they address a specific physical need, like Gav said.
Yeah.
Just doing something that pink and spark has a horse on it because you're a girl is ridiculous. But
Whoa! It's got a horse on. Where do I sign up?
Yeah. The Gibson Wembley thing is the same reason it was designed for a physical feature. Nothing, it doesn't. It was designed because people got sick of wearing heavy Les Pauls all night and doing a gig with them, so they made them lighter for people. So it's the same thing. It's a guitar that's been evolved because of a physical need rather than actually. Think you're paying the same amount of money for the less amount of tone.
Yeah. I've still got one of the full fat Les Pauls. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I can still. I can still
Like I
deal
say,
with it now.
There's a reason a female guitarist can't pick up a guitar that is realistically designed for a male, so to speak. Because, I mean, like I mentioned Chantal McGregor, and I remember doing a live Q&A. I'd only really heard of Chantal McGregor because of one of our members in the States, Josh Wood. Even though Chantal's English, I'd never heard her. Well, Josh Wood did, and he was always ranting about her, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to check out some of her music, and I liked it. She's a really good guitarist, and like I said, she's trotting around on stage wearing her gypsy dresses and a brilliant white Music Man John Trici. And I thought, what an interesting choice of guitar considering she predominantly plays bluesy stuff. So when she did a live Q&A, I actually asked her and said, why the John Trici? And she said, well, basically because it's got quite a slim neck, so it's great for my hands. And like I say, you can make that thing sing.
Indeed.
So I don't think there's any there's any need to sort of say, right, this guitar's for women, this guitar's not.
No, I think
girls.
Yeah, I mean, as much as
proving it's a lot of crap, you don't need to do that.
You just have to pick the guitar that suits your body, whether you're a male or female or in between it. You know,
exactly.
That's all it is. And even in that same camp, some guys and some girls are really big old school, 50 Les Paul necks. Some people are like, no, they can't handle hanging on that on it. They like the necks. It's all personal preference.
Indeed.
But the thing is, I think we have to make sure that we have enough guitars in the market that cover people that aren't all the same, which we're getting more of now.
Yeah, with diversity along ranges. Anyway, boys, that's where we're going to leave it tonight. Because my feet have gone to sleep. I'm tired, and we've hit the air and yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to be walking around for 10 minutes, kind of smacking my legs, trying to wake them up.
Yeah. Don't get up and fall over though automatically over them. I've done that before, it's not good.
Worst one's when you try and stand up and knees go the opposite way to where they should.
Yeah. It's the ankle breaker.
So,
right, gentlemen.
I've forgotten what I'm supposed to do because you guys continued nattering. Right, so how do you find me on the internet? Budget Pedal Chap, facebook.com/Budget Pedal Chap, instagram.com/Budget Pedal Chap. So find us in the Fret Talk podcast group, so the Fret Talk podcast groups on Facebook. Paul is Don't Panic Black Paul, facebook.com/Don't Panic Black Paul, or don'tpanic.co.uk or don'tpanic.com. Am I correct, Paul?
Yes, because we have the rights to both domains.
Fantastic. And
if you look at me personally, you can find me down the big aisle.
Classic. And Gav? Where do we...
If you want to find me, I'm in the Free Talk podcast. If anyone has any particular questions or they want to email me about stuff or just guitar stuff, my email address for guitar stuff is kiwiguitars@gmail.com. KIWIGUITARS@gmail.com. Like the fruit or like the shoe polish, your choice. Or like the more flightless bird.
Indeed.
Or like New Zealander.
Yeah, like in New Zealand.
Indeed.
America only think of a shoe polish or fuzzy fruit, so they have no idea.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of the fruit.
To get Joel to verify that.
Right then, so from me, your Budget Pedal Chap host, from Gav and from Paul, that'll be good night and see you next time. Goodbye.
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 Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.